Queen Marat, I see you. Welcome, everybody, to such a beautiful Friday morning. What is today's topic? A good laugh. A good laugh is required at all times. Well, why? There's a scripture in the Bible that says, a merry heart does one good like medicine. Science is now telling us that when one is happy, when one is merry, when one is pleased, it actually does your body very good. You have natural painkillers called endorphins, right? It tells us that if we walk around and we have happiness, joy, now hear this, it is not the same thing as walking around and being fake happy, like they tell you to do sometimes when you're trying to manifest something. You got to be on the right vibration. You don't have to be happy to be on the right vibration. Because we think happy means giddy. No. It simply means you know the law and you practice it. And believe me, sometimes things will happen that make you upset, but you know how to do these things over here too. You know how to manage your emotions. But there's a difference. Laughter. What if you are going through the day and something's got you grinding your jaw? What are you going to do? Well, you need to have a good laugh. Why is that? Because when you lighten the mood, you can see clearly. When you lighten the mood, you can see clearly. You can see your way forward because the vibration changes, right? And it's important to have that vibration. If you're walking around and you're heavy and you can't see, nor can you hear, not because the eyes and the ears aren't working, but because the vibration. So laughter is one of the fastest ways to raise your vibration. Whether it's something you remember that somebody said or did, or, the puppy did something funny, or the small child did something funny, and you laugh, that is right where you want to be. And you notice something. When you start laughing in one area, you start laughing in another area, and then the laughter continues. That's because it's good for you. So today, the encouragement is this. When you go about your day today, laugh. Of course, some people may say, she's lost it, hasn't she? She's just laughing. No, it means there's a memory that crossed your mind. I'm sitting here and I have this big smile on my face and I just want to laugh right now. Because when you speak about laughter, that's how you start to feel. My go-to for if I'm stuck in a thought that I don't want to be in and it keeps coming up, I turn on the Golden Girls. That is one of my absolute favorite shows. It was also my granny's favorite show. And so when you hear the banter between them, you have to laugh. So the key is to always lighten the load. Lighten it. And here's the key word there is to lighten. When you shed light on a situation, when you raise the vibration, you can see solution. This is why laughter is a beautiful thing, as opposed to just being ho-hum, right? When we laugh, we set ourselves free from many things. This is what children are like. When the scripture tells you to be like children, it doesn't mean to be naive like children. Children don't know. But what it's telling you is to be ready in your laughter and your curiosity like children. That's what it means. There's a freedom that comes with looking at the world through that lens, the lens of laughter. There's just the freedom that comes with that. And children, they're so ready to giggle. Listen, when you hear the giggle, like if you have grandchildren or you have small children, and you hear them laughing, it does something to you. It melts your heart, if you could say that. It softens you up. And now you want to laugh right along with them. You see, there's that curiosity that these little ones have. They're eager to learn. They want to. And they're always so ready to laugh. They are. You know, when there's this group of dancers called Ghetto Kids. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're out of Africa, and they dance phenomenally. And they were interviewing them, and they don't have a lot, not in terms of Western, but they are always laughing, and they take such joy in their dance. So the reminder is this: things and situations are always going to arise, such as the world we live in, 8 billion of it. But if we remember to have a good laugh, we'll begin to see our way forward too. It really does lighten the mood. It really does. And so find anything. And let's break it down scientifically for those of us who are, science led. When you laugh and you release those endorphins, the mood is lightened and you can see the solution to anything that's been stuck there for a little bit. We can see it. That's why we laugh. Even though on the outside there's somebody walking by, they're like, oh, it's crazy. But no, you're not. And you know what you're doing? You are bringing in the sensation in your body. That's what you're doing. And that sensation in your body, if you would hold it for 30 seconds and repeat it often, you'd notice a difference. You would notice a difference. So think about that for a moment. In order for you to have that laughter, it's either you're in the thick of the moment and something funny happens, or you recall a memory. And if you're recalling a memory that makes you laugh, you are feeling that sensation in your body yet again. And your body says, oh, so we're laughing now. We're laughing right now. And what have you done? You have changed your thought. And because you changed your thought, the thought and the sensation in your body match. You raised the vibration, and then you've polarized yourself from ho-hum to laughter. That's what you've done. So now you begin to see things a little bit differently. You change the cause to get the desired effect. But then what else did you do? You projected that new thought, that new memory of laughter from your conscious to your subconscious. You went through all of the laws. The rhythm, yes, you did, because sometimes we're back and forth. The swing of the pendulum. So you see, if you stop yourself and you bring up the sensation, you remind your body, say, you know what? I'm here right now, but I want to be here. What is that sensation? I just want a little bit of reprieve. I just want to laugh. Bring me a funny memory. And your body, being the ever faithful servant, will gladly bring you something to laugh about. It is this simple thing that we do. If we would but remind ourselves to sprinkle laughter throughout the day, do that. Because sometimes it's so easy to go, huh. Sometimes that is so easy to do, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. But if you practice, you know what? I just want to break the monotony of thoughts. I just want to laugh. And if you do that, you'll find you will see your way through any situation. Just from laughter? Well, yes, because you know why laughter is important. It raises the vibration. You raise the vibration. You are now in the presence of greater things. Does that make sense? You see, we've been given so much beauty. And one of the things, my son and I were out walking way back. I think it was summer, a couple of years back. And I stopped walking. And he's like, Mom. And I was like, shh. And there were these two little squirrels, a black squirrel and a brown squirrel. And they were chasing each other. And when they caught each other, they would stop. And it felt like a dance, I promise. And they would just move around. And then one would run up the tree, and he'd chase him, and they make these little noises. And I'm like, oh my God. So we're just standing on the sidewalk watching these two squirrels chase each other and roll around and frolic. And I thought, wow, this is life right here. The simplicity of it. They just were frolicking. And every time I see a squirrel, especially go past my window, I just stand there and I watch them because they do the cutest things. And if you whisper something, they stop. The tail goes out. And they scamper. And every time, if I go somewhere, it is the cutest thing, and you can't help but to laugh. You can't help it. And that's what I mean. When you recall situations like that. Because my son will say, hey, Mom, remember? And I'm like, mm-hmm. Or if you see a standoff between a magpie and a squirrel, oh, they're not nice, the magpie, but the squirrel is very wily. And so if you watch the interaction, you have to laugh. So that is the charge for you today. Find a reason, especially if you're feeling a little down or if you're feeling a little worried, find a reason to laugh. If we laugh at the situation or any memory that we can recall that was funny at the time, it becomes funny again. It does. And when it becomes funny again, you lighten the mood. And when you lighten the mood, what have you done? You've raised the vibration. So that's why if we remember the law, that we apply it, we can bring ourselves out of anything. Let us take a moment now, as you ponder that, to welcome everybody into the space. Twitter, who's here? Driving Tip Daily, hello. I see, oh, General Wren, I see you. Benji, hey. Jeff is here. And Luke, Quinn Rat is omnipresent. I see you here, my beautiful darling, in the Twitter space. I see you all. Fanbase, who's here? I have CRG, I see you. Is that the image of Ghost Rider in your avatar thingy? Charlene, I see you. Yamila, I see you too. My Melon, I see you. Miss McQueen, Zola, and Yolanda, I see you. YouTube, Synovia. Hey, CJ. Oh, thank you, CJ, for your hearts on Fanbase. Thank you. Queen Rat, I see you, beautiful. David, hello. Anot, the better man. The better man. I trust you're still here. And for the others who have not made themselves known, welcome. And for the replay listeners, it is a pleasure to connect with you also. So remember, my beautiful friends, the importance of having a good laugh. Jackie Harry. Shoot. You don't know who she is? You've missed out. Oh, I just remembered what she was telling Pat Sajak, but I won't go there. A good laugh frees you up. It frees up your mind. It allows things to flow in the body nicely, especially when you're talking about chi that is blocked in any meridian. Laughter will help you to move any blockage. Oh, it is brilliant. So make it a mission that when we go through our days, we'll find the laughter in it. Really and truly. It doesn't, and now if you think of laughing and you're out in public and you go, oh, I don't want anybody to think I'm crazy. If that was one of the first things that came to your mind, I want you to ask yourself an important question. Embarrassment? That's enough to allow you to keep a low vibration so you can't see your way forward? You have to understand something. People judge from where they are. It's not you that they are judging, it's themselves. Why? A law of correspondence, as within, so without. They can only judge you because they are judging themselves. So don't ever be ashamed of laughter in public. Because chances are when one laughs, many will laugh. That's all it is. And sometimes you don't even have to laugh out loud. Hear that? You don't have to laugh out loud. But if you have the memory, yes, the memory of the funny thing, because you are recalling the memory, you are feeling the sensation again in your body, and you're still having the same effect. I love your suggestion, Synovia. What if you can't laugh? You can't bring up a memory. Listen, there's great stand-up comedy, and we all know Delirious and Raw were good ones. We all know Red Fox was awesome. They're great comedy shows you can watch. Golden Girls, 227, Amen. A lot of these things. Or what's the name of that one? Oh, snap. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Every time I see a Jeep, I kid you not, I see Jim Carrey in the Jeep, in the show, and he's bopping around like he's on a bumpy road, and the camera pans out, he's driving on smooth pavement. And every time I see a Jeep, that image flashes in my mind, and I'm just like, girl, you got problems. But I lighten the mood for myself, and I have to laugh. So it's just, then you recall the memory, see what you're doing, understand and remember what you're doing. When you recall the memory, you are bringing up the sensation in your body, thus reliving it. That's what we're doing every time. See, we're always living the law, either wittingly or unwittingly, as the great Neville Goddard said, meaning you do it consciously or unconsciously. So it is multifaceted. It has many purposes when you practice bringing up the sensation. And we haven't done it in a while, so let's do it now. Is there a memory that made you laugh out loud? Bring up that memory and feel the sensation in your body. Oh, Mary. Jackie. This is what it is. Bring up that sensation and feel it in your body. Feel what it does to your body. The memory of something funny. Hold it there for 30 seconds. And then let it go. If you go through your day and you recall something funny as many times as you can throughout the day, where do you think your vibration will be? And not only that, as within, so without. As I said before, you don't always have to laugh out loud, but the memory of the laughter is enough to propel you forward, because it's the changing of the thought that changes the vibration, changes the cause. Such a simple thing as laughter, you say. But of course, oh snap, yes, Zenobia, family matters. I don't have to take this. I'm going home. Steve Urkel. Those are always such good things. But see what you're doing when you recall any moment that made you laugh. Because that is the design of the human, right? We recall information. And just as easy that it is to recall something that is ho hum, then you must know it is with the same ease that you can recall something to make you laugh. And Synovia, it is, I'll tell you this, that was one of my grandmother's favorite shows with Sandra 227 and the Golden Girls. Her favorite was Blanche. And so to make her laugh, I used to imitate her favorites. So you see, all these things that we've learned back in the day, if we go back to them, the good ones, we'd be surprised. Empress Ella, I see you. Right? That is the encouragement for you today. Find a reason to have a good laugh. Just find one. Bring up that memory. Bring it up. And if you've ever seen, this is why I love National Geographic. They have these little birds I tell you about when they're doing their mating ritual. And he has this blue color on his chest. So when he's trying to get the girl, the blue becomes really vibrant, and he's like a flamenco dancer. He puts his wings out and he does this hopping dance. And it's the most incredible thing you've ever seen. And you can't help but laugh when you see it. You're like, he's going through all of this trouble just to get her attention. And what does the girl bird look like? Brown. And I was like, man, this isn't fair. The peacock has the most beautiful plumage, the colors. And the peahen, what's she like? Just brown. I'm like, come on, man. Really? But then the way they do their dance, sometimes it seems so outrageous. Or the other birds who bring little gifts. Or if you watch them try to thwart each other, the males. He's cleaning up this area. He wants to bring the girl in, and somebody comes by and drops something in it. He's like, hey, it's their personalities are amazing. So when I tell you to find that reason or the memory to laugh, understand why it is important. And so the next time you go about and you laugh at something, you'll say, oh, snap, I just raised my vibration. Hey. And you know, when you raise the vibration, what happens? When you polarize yourself in the way you want to go, that's when we call miracles begin. But we all know there aren't any miracles. It is causation. A miracle is just a name for the law unknown. So that's why I want to encourage you today to have a good laugh. Have a good laugh. It is one of the most important things you'll do in your world. And I'll tell you this, my bestie has the best laugh in the world. For real. Listen, it doesn't matter what kind of day you're having. As long as whenever she laughs, I'm hearing it in my head right now. Sorry. But this is what I'm telling you. There's certain things in the world, right? And this is one of the most beautiful privileges that I have, is to hear her laugh. It is the greatest. One of these days I'm going to play it, but maybe not. She might beat me. It is the best laugh. And so when you hear it, you have to laugh as well. Like it's just one of those things, So I encourage you today, as you go about your day, Come on now. We may, listen, life is filled with many things. But if we find a reason to lighten that load and to laugh, I tell you, even if, because the body is so beautifully intuitive, I told you yesterday, even if you fake a smile and lift the corners of your mouth, your body starts to release endorphins. And you're like, wait, what? Yes, it does. Because why? A merry heart does one good like medicine. It makes you feel good. Feels good. Couldn't help myself. So today I trust that you are encouraged to go out there. Tracy, I see you, Emma. Hey, hey, and Priscilla. Go out there today as you have to do your interactions. And remember, recall the memory of something that was funny. And listen, it feels so good when you have a nice big belly laugh. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what I'm saying. You're laughing so hard you can't even talk, you crying. It is such a great thing. But pay attention next time to the sensation in your body and see if you don't feel ease when you laugh. It will spread through you like warmth. See if you don't feel it. That's what happened to your mind when you recalled the memory of laughter, of whatever it is. But then your body responds. It responds with laughter, but it responds with so much more. So that's your encouragement today. Get a good laugh in. Get a good laugh in, my friends. It will do wonders for you. Ties, tidbits. David, really? We said feels good at the same time? See, you see what I'm saying? Man, listen. Find that memory of laughter and bring up that sensation in your body. And it will do you wonder. It is one of the most beautiful things you can do for yourself and others. You're not doing it for them, but it just so happens. You know, they tell you misery loves company? Well, so does laughter, eh? Laughter loves good company too. It just does. So that is the encouragement today. Yeah. Laugh. Laugh a little. This is what it is. And you know, I remember, now we're talking about laughter. I remember that morning of surgery, and the anesthesiologist, they have to come in, and every single person who's going to be there with a critical job comes in because they need to confirm who you are and what you're there for, because it's part of protocol. He comes in and he says, well, I'm Dr. Such and Such, and I'll be your anesthesiologist today. Can you tell me your name? And I told him my name. He goes, well, what surgery are you coming in for? And of course, me being the whoever I am, right, the crazy one in the bunch, I said, well, and I don't remember what I told him, but he goes, that's not why you're here. According to my sheet, he goes, you can't joke about things like this. He goes, you could go home with a completely different surgery. And I was like, oh my God, okay, no jokes. Right. And so he says to me, there's times and places for everything. And let me tell you, I've loved that man ever since then. He's absolutely amazing. But every time I remember that situation, even though it felt like a reprimand because he was doing his job, I always laugh at it because of what his face looked like when he said, but that's not what I have here. You might go home with the wrong thing. Like, he was genuinely concerned, but it was just his facial expression. And that is what gets me every time. Even though I was so scared that day, I still wanted to laugh But he says to me, time and a place, my dear, time and a place. Much older gentleman. And he took such great care of me. And after surgery, he saw me again. He says, "Oh, it's good to see you." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." But that will always be one of those memories. And even when I recall that sensation in my body, I'm still in a sense of, even though, as I say, that day for me was scary and nerve wracking, just knowing that he was there, just knowing that he was there and he was kind enough and took great care of me. I can always call up that sensation when I'm in a situation where I don't feel like I'm worthy. If ever you do it, call up a situation where you did feel worthy. He wanted to do his best at his job. And that's why he said what he said, because he didn't want me to go home with missing the wrong things. Right? And so he was just, I call it that situation, if ever, depending on what I want to feel that day, worthy? Yeah. He didn't just take his job seriously. He wanted me to be safe. He had great care for my person and made me feel valuable and worthy. So you see, there's always a situation that when you recall it, you can do something with it. But make sure when you recall that situation, that it is one that you want to experience. So you see what I'm saying to you today? Recall these situations of laughter, these moments. Recall them and feel those sensations all over again. That is what we do. That is our nature. That is our design. So let us do it. And let's have a good laugh. A good laugh is truly important. So when you recognize why you should be having a good laugh, do it. And do it well. And okay. That's what I wanted to tell you today. Let us always remember to have a good laugh, because it is critical. Oh, indeed. Just go out and do it. What does it matter if somebody thinks you're crazy? Don't worry about it. Just have a good laugh. It is essential for our growth and expansion to do so. We're always so serious. Because if you think about it, it's not that somebody's not smiling or they're frowning. They are deep in thought. And chances are, the thought is something they're remembering and mulling over and fretting about. And that's why they look like they're scowling. So imagine then, if you recalled the memory and the sensation of laughter, what it does to your whole face, your whole body, that pep in your step. You ever see somebody who's got like a swagger? The swagger matches the thought in their heads and how they feel about themselves. Yes, Empress Ella, they tell you laughter is the best medicine. But where did they get that saying? The Bible. Just watch them. Sherman Hemsley had the best walk ever. Don't call me wheezy. You know I'm sensitive about my asthma. Florence. Jefferson's. Huh. I just totally had a flash of her. But you know how it is. Now I'm going to have to go pull that up. So when I tell you to recall these memories that make you laugh, understand that the vibration is different now. You have elevated the vibration. And you all know what happens with that cause and effect. You have that beautiful vibration. Then you experience things that match it. So you see, it has many purposes, laughter. Many. Many purposes. I'm glad my boy is asleep or he'd be telling me jokes right now. That one is something else. But you see, mull that one over today as you go about your day. I'm not going to keep you long because we got to prep for the forgiveness workshop today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See? Find the laughter in your space. Find it and apply it. Because it will do you good. And you know, I love a good joke. Because I love to laugh. This is just what it is. I love to laugh. And every opportunity I get, I take it. You ever heard somebody with a laugh and you're just like, wait, what? I've never heard anybody laugh like that, and you listen to them and you can't help but laugh afterwards? Yeah. I live that every day. But there. Hello, mixed genre. I see you and Walter. See? I trust today that as you go about your day, you will find the laughter and have a good one. For real. Have a good one. And I want to know all about it. I just do. And think about how it made your body feel to laugh. So the next time something happens, because you know the pendulum swings. Next time you're in that backward thrust of the pendulum and you want to move yourself forward, remember the sensation of laughter in your body and hold it there for 30 seconds, as many times throughout the day as you possibly can. I remember somebody asking, but what if you lost somebody near and dear? Would you laugh then? I was like, so the person that you're remembering that you lost, they always did something funny. They always did. Remember the good about them. Celebrate the good. Because you celebrate the good of their existence does not mean that you don't, or that you're somehow disrespectful of them not being in the flesh anymore. That's not what it means. I remember Piggy to Market. My grandfather used to throw me over his shoulders, hold me by my ankles, and Piggy to Market, and he would bounce, right? And I would just squeal with delight. That was one of my favorite things. Or when he would come home with a Three Musketeers chocolate bar. Ooh, who would light up? Yeah, that's me. So you see, because they're no longer here, it doesn't mean you just mourn all the time. But if you remember the good times that you had, you never know. You may hear from them if you keep that vibration out. Because they may not be in the flesh, but the spirit remains. This is what I'm trying to tell you today. When you recall that loved one, recall the joy of having the interaction with them physically. Remember that. It'll make the process so much easier. And we can all relate because we've all lost someone. Don't go crying on me now if the memory's fresh. But remember the beauty of what they were. Remember the joy of what they were, the laughter of what they were. Remember that. This is why a good laugh. You say, oh my God, remember when? Yes. I remember my grandmother fondly. Very fondly. Not the matching dresses, but I remember her fondly. Who wanted to get dressed up for church? I didn't, but I had to. I had a miniature dress of hers all the time. That was the privilege of having a seamstress. Everything was tailor-made. So when I tell you to recall the memories that bring you the laughter, it'll help you get through the tough times. So that now, instead of the tough time beating you down, you can rise above the tough time. And instead of having to drag yourself through it, you can go through it with ease now. Because we still got to go through it. Still have to experience them. But how we experience them changes. So Queen Marat, yeah. We call it our ancestors. So that's why I say, find that reason to have a good laugh. Find it. And when you do it, pay attention to that sensation in your body and how it feels, so that you can always recall it and reuse it over and over and over again. And it's know this. It's not that you are ignoring the ho-hum. You're not, because you cannot ignore them. You can't ignore your feelings. You can't brush them away. But when you examine it and you say, is this beneficial to me right now? What am I learning in this situation right now? I've learned it. Okay, well, let me shake this. Because you and I know the longer you entertain something, the longer it sticks around. You know, it sticks around real long when you keep looking at it and entertain it. That's all I'm going to tell you today, my beautiful friends. That is what I'm going to tell you today. I will see you today, right here. Yes, and on Everything Vibrates. Somebody on Twitter said that yesterday. And I'll tell you this too. It's like these thoughts. I had a thought the other day because my bestie and I were looking for our tuning forks. You know, a crystal fork, my low ohm tuning fork. We were looking for those things. And she had her singing bowl out and she was tapping the bowl and she was like, you should do some of this in your morning inspiration, you know, or your nighttime meditation. And I was like, I gotta find these things. And then I get an email, David. He's like, Angela, I was thinking you should have a tuning fork. And I was like, wait, what? Because that's what we were talking about. And then he said it, and then the other person on Twitter, and I was like, no, we all know coincidences don't exist. So I had to laugh at that situation because now 3 people were telling me the same thing, but I had already had that thought. So you see, projection, masculine, that thought was projected outward. And the ones who were there, they heard it and they gave it back to me and said, hey, I think you should. And I had to laugh at that yesterday. I was like, because when you say, what a coincidence, and then you wink and you're like, because you know it's not a coincidence, right? So that's why I had to laugh. I'm like, phew, feels like a coincidence, but I know it isn't. It's gender and it's causation. And so now, that's what and even somebody else this morning on a comment on one of my videos said the same thing. So you see how connected we are in this group that we're in? I just want you to know that we are very connected here. It's beautiful, isn't it? I love it. Yes, double A vibes, every connection. Because it matches. That's why I tell you the vibrations are all there. That's why Neville Goddard could say creation is done. He's talking about the vibrations. They exist. And you just pick the mood, and the mood will match the vibration that's already there. That's why it's important to feel the sensation so you know what vibration you're on. Yes. Double A. Sometimes remembering can be painful. And this is why. If you recognize the design of the body, We are always remembering, we're always reminiscing. And the more times you have a particular thought and sensation in your body, the longer you stay polarized there, then that is the experience you must live out. So that's why I tell you, when you bring up the sensation in your body that you would like to have instead of the one you have now, you're retraining your body and you're telling it what to do. And the reason why you're doing that is because the more you stay polarized in the direction you want to be in, the smoother existence becomes. And that's why, as AA is saying here, those memories sometimes can be painful. And that's why when you have quiet time, be cautious about what you reminisce about. You see how we get to choose which memory we want to invoke? If you're going to invoke a memory, that memory better be serving a purpose for the situation at hand. You don't just go back and remember because you don't have Alzheimer's. Choose what you will remember because it must serve the purpose. Right? So that's how come we get caught sometimes being in a position where all we can think about is the painful memories. And Lord knows we've all been through some stuff, haven't we? But what good is it? But the reason why logically you can't say what good is it to go back and reminisce about that is because reminiscing about those kinds of things has become a habit for that particular sensation because you've done it so much. It's just a habit. So how do we form a new habit? Great segue. We're going to be having one starting March 1st. I haven't posted it yet, but it's coming. We're going to do the 2190 challenge. We're going to form a new habit. And then we're going to make it a lifestyle so that we don't have to think about doing it anymore. It becomes autopilot. So what thing in there that's autopilot right now that you want to change? Write that down and then we'll deal with it in how many days? What's today? 24? 4 days. See? I'm looking forward to this. Yes, AA, sovereign is about choice and self-control. It sure is. If you look at the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, and self-control is the anchor. How did that just make me feel? What a good memory. What a good memory. I just want to make sure I catch all these things. Indeed, Tracy, she says this space helps with my mental health. You see what happens? Why does it help? Because we remember law number 1. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Mental health is the quality of your thoughts. If the thoughts are healthy, then the body and the experiences lived out are healthy also. And that's why we exist here, right now in this space. Because it is important that we get a hold of it and understand why we have the thoughts we have. Understand why we have them. Because when you understand, or when you comprehend why you do what you do, it makes it considerably easier to change. And that's why a good laugh is always a way to go. Oh, it sure is. I'm looking forward to more laughter today, I tell you that. I know that boy's he's gonna have some good thing to tell me. I can't repeat some of them, but but nonetheless, they're hilarious. Right? So today, my beautiful friends, let us go forth and have a good laugh today. Let's have a good laugh today. So today, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, forgiveness. Not what you think it is. Because when I say that, you got to forgive. Sometimes we clutch our pearls and go, are you serious? You don't know what I've been through. I can't forgive. But as I said before, when you understand or when you comprehend, then it makes things considerably easier to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all there at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link has been posted. It's an upcoming event. So if you click on that thingy, it'll say notify me. And it'll give you a notification at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on the 28th, we have testimonial. Yes. You see, mixed genre just said something. Half of these thoughts aren't even ours. Someone put the idea into our heads. Well, yes. That is the law of gender that you just explained right there, mixed genre. It's the law of gender. You said, but that's not even my thought. But then, how does one know when a thought is theirs and when it is not? That means you have to know yourself, because then you know how you think. So you can say, that's not mine. You see? When you know yourself, you'll know how you think and how you behave, so that when something is projected, you'll be like, that is not mine. Nice try, though. That's what you can say. When you catch these things and then you end up being like Neo, you can move out of the way. Lord, don't make me sing ludicrous now. The law is the bolt that keeps the link formed as a chain to stay solid. Oh, snap. Double A. Well said. March 1st, 2190 looks like a date. It does, doesn't it? Just reading the comments. But yes, this is definitely what it is. Just pay attention to how these things make you feel. And recall these sensations. And have one of the most beautiful laughs ever. You know who also gave beautiful laughter? Star Trek, the original Star Trek with Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. They had great chemistry. And they made you laugh all the time. James Bond, another great one for laughter. Let me tell you some of these lines I remember. He's leaving the cabin and, of course, James. The lady says, but James, I need you. He looks at her, he tucks in his jacket, and he says, so does England. I was like, this man is cold. But he was good, so good. And you can argue with me if you want, but Sean Connery is the best James Bond. The best. So you see, when I tell you to recall these things that made you laugh prior or lightened your mood, there's a reason, and I told you what that reason was. You raise your vibration. So there. Yes. Tracy, you are correct. We are programmed our whole lives on what we think. And sometimes our preferences are programmed. But of course, the preference exists because you've been programmed to like it or not like it. And it's usually a memory attached with why you like something or why you don't like it. See? Always a memory. So that memory is the program. If you can go back and say, ew, I don't like that. Whatever that food is, sea urchin. I just smelled sea urchin when I said sea urchin. I will never eat those. Oh, dear God. It's just, it has a memory attached. And it's the smell, this olfactory, the smell sometimes will get you. And that's why you don't like something. So you see, a memory is usually attached with a program. An emotional memory. So this is why I tell you, when you sit down and you look back at things, look back to understand or comprehend. Don't look back to judge. There is such beauty in knowing that, such freedom in knowing it. When you look back at something and you're like, oh, why do I like this? Why don't I like that? Exactly, Queen Rat. We reprogram ourselves. And in order to reprogram the self, you need to know the self. So when you say, well, I like this thing, why do you like it? Chances are, if you go back, something happened to you back then, and that's why you like it. Or something happened to you, and that's why you don't like it. And when you go back and you recognize those things, you can now consciously decide, perhaps I want to give this thing a try. This thing I didn't like. Perhaps I want to attempt to do this thing, and maybe because now you're coming at it from the awareness of what caused you to not like it. And now you can consciously say, I'd like to try this for my own self. But it all comes from knowing the self. Because when you know the self, now you can say, oh, well, that's my thought. Well, that's not my thought. You see, it is far-reaching. And the fun of it is this. Think about this. When you are in a new relationship, it has a new car smell. Or you have a new baby. You want to spend as much time with them as possible. Why? To get to know them. Because when you get to know somebody, what happens? You share new things. You begin to appreciate them. My son always says to me, Mom, I've known you for 13 years. That's what he says. I've known you for 13 years, Mama. And I'm like, yes, you have. I've known you for 13 years. But then I've also learned another side of myself these past 13 years that I did not know was there. So you see, get into the habit of spending time with yourself and talking to yourself. Because what are you doing? Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. That's what you're doing. So is it a good thing? Because you only get to know people that you really want to know and that you like. So if you say, I can't sit there and be quiet for that amount of time. Don't you like yourself? Don't you like your own company? There you have it. You are with you all day, every day, 24 hours a day. 7 days a week, 365 or 66, depending upon the year. And you don't want to spend any time by yourself in your quiet time to know you? Think about that. You only spend time with people truly. Okay, I'll say it this way. You spend time of your own volition with someone when you want to get to know them. So be intrigued by yourself and get to know yourself. Yes, indeed, mixed genre. Knowing who you are is a whole project that each individual has to make time to undertake. You have to dismiss all distractions. Anything outside yourself is a distraction. And this is true because distractions have a purpose. Oh, yeah. That's why they're called where is my resident etymologist? I just looked up and saw you, Mozinga. Distraction. Just from listening to the word, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, Mozinga, but this. Something is out, is off. Attraction. Distraction. Where's your focus? Where's your attention? and anything that pulls you away from there, right? Now, why is that important? To be able to hold your own attention. Because when you hold your attention, you hold the polarity. When you hold the polarity, you magnetize the vibration because you're building momentum. And the more momentum you build, then you must have that experience. So if you can't hold your attention, you can't build momentum. You can't build momentum. You can't change something. Does that make sense? Right? Zola? These are the simple things. You see, now, Tracy, let's address this right here, right now. Let's nip this one in the bud. Now, here's a popular aphorism that we say, because Tracy just said it. She says she agrees. The process is also painful, but no pain, no gain. You see that aphorism that we use? No pain, no gain. I'll tell you why I don't like it. Because when you associate pain with learning, you don't want to learn. But if you associate pleasure with learning, you learn. Now, the situation to grow and to expand, it's not necessarily because pain, think about pain for a minute. Listen, anybody struggling with chronic pain, oh, they know what that is. It's not a good thing. So when we hear no pain, no gain, we now associate growth with struggle, suffering, and in actuality, if we would look at it as a pleasure, why? Look at it as a pleasure because you don't have to stay the same. You get to expand, you get to grow, you get to learn, you get to become better than what you were yesterday. Where's the pain there? As opposed to feel it for a moment. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel that. When we go to the gym, right? Literally, you're tearing muscles and rebuilding them. Why do you go to the gym? Why? You're going because you want to be healthy. Is that not a pleasurable thing to be healthy? Because you know what happens when the body is healthy. You extend its existence. So if you're extending the existence, is that painful? Or is that a good thing? Yet, going to the gym and working out, oh, it's leg day, and you can't even go up the stairs later. That's when you have a good laugh and you go, the bigger picture. The bigger picture is my body is healthy, I can move it. So now you put the pain in perspective. Put the pain in perspective. That's what I'm saying to you. We say these things, no pain, no gain, only because it rhymes, you know. And this is why women are afraid of labor and delivery. Oh my God, it's going to be so painful. Is it? Whew. For someone having given birth at home, yes, I had a home birth. It was hard and fast and it was over. Epidural? Nope. Drugs? Nope. Nothing. People say to me, oh my God, how did you do that? When you understand what is happening to your body, when the cervix is shortening every time, yet I think, let me tell you something. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you physically it didn't hurt. Of course it did. But it's not like you break a leg and the pain is continuous. This is why the contractions come in the ebb and the flow. There is a rhythm to the contraction. It gives you time to rest in between. So when you look at the big picture is, oh my God, they get this cute little thing. I'm so excited. Then now you put the pain in perspective. It's not just senseless pain. Growth isn't senseless pain, but you know what senseless pain is? Senseless pain is looking backwards at the trauma and reminiscing about it. That is senseless pain. And the only reason why we reminisce is because we have the memory that we recall. And this is why I say it is of grave importance that you choose the memories that you're going to entertain. If you look back on it and you say, polarity, I was there and I want to be, okay, from to. That's why we look back. Where you're taking yourself from to where you want to go. But you don't just sit and look back because you have the memory. Because now you are reliving the pain. When I remember May the 18th, 1:51 in the morning, when Noah was put on my chest by the midwife, I do remember the stitches though. Yeah, I remember that well. But the biggest, brownest eyes and the softest cheeks. Sometimes I sit there and I watch him when he's sleeping and I say to myself, wow, how amazing. That's what I'm saying to you. If we're going to reminisce, make sure it serves the purpose, or else it is just reliving pain. Like, nobody wants to relive pain. So that's why I don't like no pain, no gain. Yes, mixed genre, it doesn't last forever. It's a temporary thing and then it's over. Yes. These are the beautiful things that I wanted us to remember, because sometimes when we go through the day, we're like, oh no. So remember to have a good laugh. Mixed genre, look at you. I'm just about ready to do the countdown and you drop this beautiful gem. Knowing what your weaknesses are is also a part of knowing yourself. Yes, yes. I'll sum it up because it's true. Because sometimes what we do, what he's saying here, or she's saying, because I don't know who it is, we complain about things. Perhaps that is a weakness. Perhaps that is a weakness. But in order to know your weaknesses and your strengths, you must know yourself. And then what do you do with a weakness? What do you do with a weakness? Polarity. From to. Oh, you did it again. Yes, this too shall pass. That is the law of rhythm. There is an ebb and there is a flow. It cannot stay in the ebb permanently, nor can it stay in the flow permanently. So everything changes. Mixed genre. Yes, because you didn't have a name. That's it. Thank you. So, countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. I'll see y'all today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for forgiveness. Bring your pen and paper, and we'll go through step by step what we're dealing with. And once we comprehend forgiveness, my etymologist did say, traction is to pull. See? Momentum. Movement, momentum, attraction, distraction. You lose traction, you lose momentum if you don't stay polarized in the direction you want to go in, which means to keep your attention upon that thing for an extended amount of time so that you're not distracted. Helps to comprehend the meaning of words. Thank you, Mozinga. Anywho, 1. I'll see y'all later today. Twitter, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. And you know I love you all. Luke, I'm just seeing you. Peace out, Twitter. Twitter is closed. I have one hand free. Fanbase, thank you for being here. Yolanda, Zola, Miss McQueen, Yamila, Mai, Merlin, and Zell. Thank you for being here and sharing your energy with us all today. See you today, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. I love you. Fanbase is closed. YouTube, looky here. It's us. It is us. I just saw a text from Anon. That's what happens when I'm tardy. But I see you all. It's just us here now. It's minus 32. Sorry, once I closed Fanbase, it's the main screen on my iPad, and the temperature is right there. Well, I did plug in the car. I sure did. What does it feel like? Minus 40. Listen, if you don't laugh at that, do I have anywhere to go today? No, I don't. I'm not leaving the house. No, thank you. Tracy, for the workshop today, Mozinga, she froze. For the workshop today, you have my email, Tracy. You can send me an email, or you can ask it there too. Either or, whichever you're most comfortable with. Yeah, you can send the question in my email. positivelyangela@shaw.ca. Let me see, because I have a hand free, people. I'm just dropping it in the chat. There's the email that you guys can, if you have questions about forgiveness and you want to, find out how to fix it, send me an email. For sure, send me an email. And then we'll answer those questions as they arise. You see, because that's why I do what I do, so that we can grow, so that I can grow. It's so important. But spend some time today and have a nice big belly laugh, let me tell you. Have a nice big laugh today and see how beautiful it is and what it does to you. See what it does to you. I am going to go now. And you guys enjoy the beauty of this day. I'll see you at 3:30. I'll go prepare the nighttime guided meditation. And then set everything up out there so that I'm ready to go. That's what we're doing. Yes, put things in perspective, Mozinga. Put things in perspective. You can tell me what perspective is. It has something to do with the way you see something. My resident etymologist. I love you guys. I love you very much. And it is always your memories that keep me warm in this minus 32 weather. Yikes. Anywho, but of course, Tracy, you're beautiful. I will see you later. Everybody, thank you for being here. Mozinga, Tracy, Synovia, Mixed Genre, Empress, Ella. Just seeing the names. Queen Marat, Double A, David, long live Emanon, Synovia, Walter, Empress Ella, Ties, Tidbits, And oh my God, I'm just seeing her comment with Martin. Shanae. No, that was a good one. That was a very, very good one. Shoot, in living color. But you didn't hear that from me. She's looking out the window, sorry. All these memories. Shoot. There you go. Yes, you see? Thank you. Thank you, Mozinga. Through and observe. That is one of the first rules in traditional Chinese medicine. Observe. But I'm going to stop talking to y'all now. I love you guys. Being a spectator. Yes. Thank you, Mozinga. I hope you're going to be there today, too, at the workshop for forgiveness, because I do love having a resident etymologist in the space. All right. I love you. I'm going to see you soon. Okay? Much love. One.